So to start off on the changing my diet was really helpful. I went to see the nutritionist, talked to her about how I ate, which and some of my behaviors around food, which I think led to a lot of the problems. So I was an emotional eater for sure, and a lot of things in life centered around food. So things like if I was stressed, had a stressful day at work, I'd be counting down to like, what am I going to get as a treat? I'm going to get some cookies or something. I'm going, have something that, and that would be my sort of um, way that I would like self-medicate and decompress. And that's been a pattern, and needed help to be able to break that. And also happy events in life. You want to go out, you want to hang out. Everything was go out to dinner, and it wasn't go out to dinner and just have a salad and a soup, because I could eat, I could put it away. So although I wasn't a gluttonous eater all the time, if I'm hungry, I was going to eat. So that's some of the stuff that I'm sure did not help with the weight gain. Also had a bad habit of not eating in the morning, which is still something that I struggle with. But that's one thing that protein shakes are really good for. I don't really like to eat first thing in the morning. So if it's a weekend leisurely, you wake up, you put it around the house a little bit, then you go out and you have sort of a brunch situation, that's fine. I'm hungry by that time. But in your normal work day, I don't want to have like breakfast when I get up in the morning when I'm heading to work. So, those are some of the issues I have. And if you don't start eating and your metabolism doesn't start, you're not keeping your body energized and fed at regular intervals. So when you get hungry, you're like, I'm just going to eat whatever the hell. And, you end up busting out of your size 28s. At least that's what happened for me. Everybody isn't like that, but that's my journey. So when I met with the nutritionist, she suggested that I start making changes right away so that I'd be in a better position when I had the surgery. And she let me know that most people are more successful when they make changes ahead of time, because the surgery is just a tool. And although your stomach is quite restricted and you literally cannot get down everything you would have eaten before, you can sort of self-sabotage. You can curtail the amount of weight that you'll lose and set yourself in a position where you might even regain some weight if you don't really change some of those behaviors. So I'm happy that it takes 5 to 6 months before my insurance will say, yep, you can get your surgery, because I don't know if I would be miserable right now, like if I hadn't changed my eating habits and gotten into better habits beforehand. So she had me do a protein shake for breakfast 5 days a week. So every weekday, have the protein shake within 1 hour of you putting your feet on the floor and getting out of the bed. And focusing on protein first. So watching the carbs, definitely watching the amount of refined carbs you had and simple carbs that you have. Focus on protein first, eat your veggies, and watch the carbs. So that was actually the first visit to the nutritionist. And my next visit, I had lost some weight. I lost probably about maybe like 10 pounds or so. Felt pretty good with my digestion and everything. So the next focus then was continue to focus on protein first, and now watch your carbs even more. So switch over to a much more low carb diet, and not really restrict yourself from anything, but instead of sandwiches, maybe have a wrap. Then at lunchtime, and then at dinner time, have your meat and your veggies, or some fruit or whatever, salad, whatever, but not like have like a big thing of pasta and not really a lot of protein and things like that. So by the time I started my pre-op diet, and I did 7 days pre-op diet, liquid diet. Before I started that, I was probably down maybe about 20 pounds or so. And then, of course, comes the pre-op liquid diet, which I'm not gonna lie, that's not easy to do. It's much easier to do that post-surgery when you have like no stomach than when you have your stomach and you are hungry. But for the pre-op diet, that's where it's basically protein shakes 3 times a day. I could have sugar-free popsicles as well, and those were like my saviors at night after I had like before I went to bed. I'm feeling kind of, I don't know, snacky or wanted something. The sugar-free popsicles were everything. So that was hard, especially in the beginning, and I don't really like fake sweet taste. I'm getting used to some of them, but that's not my favorite. I don't really like that kind of sweetness. I like sweet stuff, but I don't really like the fake sweet taste. So one of the things I did that was helpful was for my dinner protein, I had broth with unflavored whey protein powder mixed in. So I would get my protein, but this way I'm having a savory taste, not just the sweet, sweet, sweet all the time. So that I found that to be very helpful. The day of surgery, when I weighed in, prior to surgery, I was about 32 pounds lighter than I was when at my heaviest weight in December. So I probably lost 10 or 11 pounds or so with my 7-day diet. Now, I will say for the pre-op diet, it varies. Usually it's 2 weeks to a week. Most people that I've seen, their surgeons and nutritionists have them doing the liquid diet. Some people, I've seen some of their videos where their surgeon just had them on a very low carb diet. It was like lean protein and like vegetables or what have you to prepare for it. So the reason that you go on that diet is twofold. They want to shrink your liver. Your liver is going to be moved out of the way while they're doing the sleeve surgery anyway, so they can get to your stomach. But they want to shrink it with a very low calorie, low fat diet. So that was my preparation for surgery. When I had my surgery, it is same day laparoscopic surgery. You generally spend the night in the hospital. So I had my surgery, went to recovery. That was weird. So, I I am susceptible to medicines that make you drowsy anyway. I'm kind of a square. So I don't take anything. I don't drink anything. And if I do partake in something that is a narcotic or something that makes you sleepy, any kind of cough syrup with codeine or any kind of medicine like that, if the chance is going to make you drowsy, I'm out. So I'm out. So although I get sometimes, I'm like, oh, I was thinking like, okay, what if I don't go out? But that's really not a concern. I've had one other surgery for my gallbladder years ago, and I had that same concern, and I was out before they started the count for the surgery. So, and it was same type of thing here. But when you wake up in recovery, that's weird, right? Because that's lost time. That's not like sleep where you were dreaming and you start out on one level, you go down to your REM sleep, and then you wake up, maybe gradually or whatever. It's just like lost time. Like you were in the surgery room, they were telling you that everything was going to be good, and they're going to give you something to relax, and boom, you wake up then like, you're doing great. So that was really weird. And I felt like my limbs were really heavy. And so I kept trying to move them. And I think they thought that, and probably look really weird. I can't really express myself when I'm kind of coming out of that. And I just keep being like, oh, my arms and legs, they just felt heavy like it was underwater. So that's weird, but whatever. I was in recovery. And then they took me to my room, and my mom and my husband were waiting for me there. So, of course, you have absolutely no appetite. I had some pain, but I have to say, so pain, of course, you had surgery, you're going to have some pain. Definitely not the worst pain in the world at all. And the worst part was probably gas more than anything else. But, they gave me some pain medication and stuff and tried to keep me comfortable. I had to walk around, and you cannot drink anything after surgery. You can't, the whole day after surgery, you can't drink anything. And so although you're not hungry at all, I was so dry. My mouth was so dry. So they gave me stuff so I could swab around my mouth with like a little sponge on a stick and some water, and that's it. Can't swallow it. And they measured my urine, which is fun. So there's like a contraption in the bathroom in the hospital room, and when you go, the nurse has to measure your urine and all that stuff. But that was that. All in all, the hospital was great. The nurses were phenomenal. They really did their best to keep me comfortable, even with coming in and taking my vitals and whatever. So the next morning, then you go down for where they do a leak test, and you have to drink some of the most disgusting liquid I've ever tasted in my life. But they had me stand up, and they're doing kind of like a standing up X-ray beforehand, and then I had to drink this little thing of nastiness, and they're looking to make sure there's no leaks. And if everything is good there, then they'll feed you, and you're on the bariatric clear diet that day, and then they'll discharge you. So I came to the hospital. I checked in probably like 9:30 in the morning of the 21st, and I was checked out by like 2 or 3 o'clock the next day. So thankfully there were no leaks, no complications or anything like that. They want to make sure that you drink your water when they give you like your little broth and some tea and your little water and stuff. And drinking the water, I wanted to just, but you cannot. You feel that from that sip or whatever, you feel the liquid going all the way down. Really weird feeling. More discomfort than pain, but like really like, oh, you never notice that before you have the surgery. And that is one of the struggles, is being able to consume liquids, especially if you're someone who gulped down like at least 100 ounces a day like I did before. I can't do that now.